Hello there guys, and welcome back to episode 5 of Hearts of Iron 4 as the United Kingdom. We are more than 4 episodes in now, and we still haven't had a war that we've been involved in. Often the problem with playing as a democracy, but I am enjoying this moment of calm to start to get all of my affairs in order. And I do, as you know, if you are a regular to my channel, most of my videos tend to be semi-educational. I try to teach people how to play the game, and that's often very difficult when I don't really understand how to play the game myself all that well, but I am learning this game quite quickly, I think. And while I'd like to be able to spend weeks, if not months, learning how to play a game before actually starting to create tutorial videos on it, this is often the problem with YouTube. If you want to get seen, if you want to be more than just a voice in the crowd, you really have to get your videos out early. And because I'm quite lucky that Paradox do give me access to some of their titles before the release date, there's often a real strategic need to get my videos out and online quite quickly. So that's the reason why I went straight into playing this game with like little to no experience, because I needed to get videos out quickly. But I think in the couple of games I've played, my understanding of the game is actually coming on in leaps and bounds. You're doing quite well there, Monty. I said I was going to send 4 more divisions down to the guy in Africa. And then the rest of Monty's fully trained guys, we are going to create a new army completely. You are going to have your own commander. We'll give you another general. And someone that's actually got some sort of skill. And we will probably garrison you down here on the south coast as well. So you're starting to work on the Mountaineers now. Manpower's not doing too bad. You're still working on the cavalry. Mountaineers are now done, but you're training them up. That is fine. So we'll probably want some more infantry. So let's go and add in maybe another... That's too many. Another 10. Because you count 30 as the 0. And we'll, again, put you on, like, East Midlands or wherever. And add you to Monty's army. That's fine. Let's just burn through the rest of our manpower, though. But we will be getting rid of that issue relatively soon. Monty's now working on the cavalry. Those cavalry are going to go down and join the African units. The infantry are probably going to join one of these other armies. You might well end up being the Italian front. Not necessarily. These are just sort of provisional names just in case. Let's go ahead and change your colour so you stand out a little bit more. Let's make you... we've already got one that's a little bit purple. Let's make you... What colour do we want to make you? Formation flying done. Let's get rid of that. Let's make you a sort of a yellow colour. That's fine. We'll give you a slightly different icon if we want. Just try and make them a little bit easier to see on the map. So, yep, tech is done. In fact, that was our air doctrine. Air support, mission efficiency, plus 20%. That would be quite useful. Let's keep that going. It'll be fairly quick to research that. How are things going on? Issue gas masks. That is 17 days away from completion. Then when that is done, we will move on to... Military Training Act, and that will remove the penalty, the war to end all wars, which would be really, really good. And then if we wanted to, we could embargo Germany, which would be quite nice. And then we could go and declare war on Germany, but we probably won't need to. We probably won't be touching most of this. A lot of this stuff, it gives you, as a democracy, a way to declare war on other people. So if we went for this one, the Benelux intervention, we would actually lose opinion with the US, Belgium, and Netherlands. We could try and make Belgium and make the Netherlands part of our own land. You know, we could try and make them into puppets, but we don't necessarily want to do that. We've also got the Scandinavian intervention as well, where we could try and nick stuff from them, or we can just go straight for Germany, but we don't really want to mess around too much with that. Mostly what we want to be doing is going down the limited rearmament tree, because this is the tree that's actually going to allow us to build up our own forces and make ourselves stronger. Issue gas mass is now done, so let's go straight on to Military Training Act. Oh, I can't do that yet either. Got to do it at 38. Damn it. Why have these all got timing things on them? Okay, not a problem. What do we want here? We could go into those. Production cost. Infantry equipment production cost minus 10%. Yes, yes, oh god, yes. Let's go for that. And then I think after that... we will probably go Motorised Army Royal Tank Regiment and get that sort of done and out of the way. 90% national unity, which is really nice. And we have insufficient resources on aluminium this time. Guess we're getting most of our stuff from America. So let's go ahead and do that. How we're doing with constructions. We are working on sort of a combination of factories at the moment. There's support weapons 2 done. Let's go and get some more military factories done. Again, military factories, you want to try and keep them in the north of the country because they're less likely to be bombed up there. So let's go ahead now and get the improved infantry equipment. Things are doing good. We're up to 50... Right, army experience is coming in quite slowly at the moment, which is a real shame because I really do want to get those divisions upgraded as quickly as possible. You're doing relatively well. So all of you guys... I mean, we will have to sort of train everybody up once we get the artillery into these divisions. And we have a lot of divisions, so we are going to need a lot of artillery. Luckily, we already have a fair bit. Let's get you moved into this army. So how long is it going to take if we're only getting... Well, we're up to 16, but 0.014 daily. Actually, it won't take all that long. We could also lend-lease stuff. Again, you need a certain amount of world tension to be able to do it. So if China is still at war with Japan, and China are losing badly, yeah, we can't even lend-lease at the moment. Lend-lease requires 50% world tension. It's currently only at 37. So we can lend equipment to people, and the good thing is, what you can do is if you've got old equipment in storage, you can lend them your old equipment, the stuff that you're not using, and you gain experience for lending it to them. But yeah, you need a certain amount of world tension to do that, once again, playing as a democracy. So it does sort of cripple you a little bit. We don't have low manpower, we have no manpower, which is definitely problematic. These regiments are still training up though, so that is fine. We can modify our government. I don't think there's anything here that'll give us more manpower. Military factory construction speed is nice. Division recovery rate, division attrition. These are the air ones as well, aren't they? Naval bombing, amphibious invasion speed, submarine attack. Chief of Air Force, air experience gain, night operations penalty reduction, industrial concern. Doubt we can change this yet, can we? No, we can't change that yet. That is a shame. Thought we'd already added the tank designer. Thought we'd already done that. Did I not click it, or did something happen to make it disappear? I'm sure I had that selected at some point. Okay, well, we'll do that again. Not too sure what happened there. I'm sure somebody will point it out in the comments. 16.24 experience. It's going up so slowly. But as long as we can get to 20, we can add 2... I always get battalions and brigades confused. So I always get it the wrong way around. So this adds... These are battalions. So this is a brigade. So we want to add two artillery battalions to the division, as well as a recon company support division. Field hospitals are nice, but we can probably wait. That'll be fine. How's the training going, Monty? Oh, you're getting loads of stuff done there. Let's get all of you guys. Now, you're all just ordinary infantry, so you can move into this army. And then the cavalry are going to be going down to Africa. And the mountaineers are... Why aren't you doing anything? Oh, you're on the move. You're not actually currently training. That is fine. What have we got here? Still a few more infantry in production, but again, we do have the problem of no manpower, so that's partly the reason why things are going slowly. Infantry equipment is filled, support equipment is near enough filled, doing well on tanks, doing well on motorised. How much artillery do we have in stock? 912, that's pretty decent. Motorised, 1.2k, again, pretty decent. Got 3 military factories. We are missing oil again. So let's go ahead to America and get some more. 3 military factories. We're only the 1 at the moment. Where do we need to put you? Probably on the fighters right now, I'd have thought. So let's go ahead and do that. It's the reason why all of a sudden we need more resources, because one of the factories that I've got queued up suddenly becomes part of a production line and they're producing stuff more quickly, so need more resources. That's all that is. That's the only thing that's causing that. So world tension's still only at 37%. The only real war I think that's going on is the Chinese one, the Japanese-Chinese war. And Japan are definitely winning that one. That's the BSA company done. Let's have a look down here. Yep, Japan are definitely pushing hard into China. So let's have a look at our national focus. We still can't do the gas masks thing yet, which is a pain. Do we want to start working down here? Extra 25% air experience, some more anti-air. It's useful, but let's start going into motorised and start working down the tree. It doesn't actually take long to get everything in the tree completely filled anyway. There we go. There's an extra 1k of manpower that will disappear as soon as it comes in. Excavation 1 has finished. Let's go into excavation 2 because these are a little bit ahead of time. We could go for synthetic oil, but then we'd have to go and build the refineries anyway, so maybe we will do that at some point if we get a lot of time. But I don't think we really need to. How's the training going there, Monty? You've almost done with your training. I'm almost tempted to tempted to spit these out just so you actually have to give them the training, but they're nearly there anyway. There's no point queuing any more up because we are now at the point where we're out of manpower, and we are still producing ships, and ships do use manpower. We're not producing well, we are producing planes, but producing planes don't use manpower. Planes are equipment, and they just go into a reserve. You only use manpower for planes when you try and add air wings. So when you try and add an air wing, look, cannot create an air wing, not enough service manpower for it. So you take the planes out of reserves, you take the equipment out of reserves, but you don't have enough manpower to actually crew the planes. And obviously you've got ground crew as well. It's not just the planes themselves. You've got to have mechanics, you've got to have ground crew, you've got to have the people that rearm and refuel, and you know, there's just so much that goes on. There's the Southampton class. Is that a cruiser? So we want to go ahead and... Or are they destroyers? Southampton class is a light cruiser. So our light cruiser ones all want to be Southampton class. We'll get warnings on all of these because we are... we're already part way through building one, which we're essentially scrapping, but might as well do that now. 2 free research slots again. So we could work on some better carriers. I tend not to use the carriers all that much, but let's go ahead and do it anyway. We could work on marines. There's no reason not to have marines there in case we need them. We can always sort of build some in an emergency. Marines basically receive bonuses for fighting in different types of terrain. We go and have a quick look at marines. So basically marines get an attack bonus in marshes, rivers and amphibious. So they are quite useful. Specialized landing... let me get this right. As our naval infantry is supported by specialized landing craft and training. Yeah, I don't think that... I mean, you can land any infantry and do a naval attack. You don't specifically need marines to do a naval attack. What are we short of now? Aluminium again. Back to United States. Give me some stuff. Thank you very much. So again, we've got no template for the motorised and towed artillery, but we soon will have. We're still at 16. We're earning 0.009 daily. You've got most of these guys trained up now, which is horrible. So, mountain divisions, you're going to join the Italian front. Cavalry divisions, you're going to go ahead and join the African front. Now, that's a full 24 division stack now. Now, of course, once we do add artillery to them, I guess we could go and do that, actually, even though we're a little bit short, because we will be able to train them all up. So that's probably the best way of doing things. So we're going to go in, we're going to edit our infantry division, we're going to go ahead, and we're going to add 2 battalions of artillery. Combat width is 24, that's fine. And we cannot add our recon company yet, but that's fine. We'll save that as is. And what will now happen is we will require artillery. And that artillery will go out to those guys. Now, if we actually look at our artillery now, because there's something I want to check. Artillery, we still need 3,100. So even though we had a lot of artillery in there, we need a lot of it. We'll probably queue up some extra factories on there anyway. Motorized, I don't think we're using any yet. Improved infantry equipment is really good. The People's Republic of China has capitulated. The Chinese government has gone into exile and their main forces have capitulated to Japan, who is now in control of their home area. The struggles in the People's Republic of China was only a small part of the conflict. The war between Japan and what remains of the Chinese United Front continues elsewhere. So, Weapons 2, we're a little bit ahead of time for doing that. Let's go ahead and work on paratroopers as well. Again, we've got no manpower, so it's not like we can build any additional units, but that is fine. But what we can do now is if we look at all these guys, as soon as these guys start to get upgraded, as soon as they start to receive their artillery, they should lose a little bit of their training. Probably at the end of the day. At least I thought they would. But yeah, we will go and put recon companies with them as soon as we can. Okay, fair enough then. So, France wants to join the Allies. Motorized army. Research has finished. The Munich Conference. The Germans... Right, let's do this one first. France wants to join the Allies. The world is growing increasingly unsafe. Britain and France remain bastions of democracy and liberty in Europe, and France now propose they want to join the Allies. Yes. Calling upon the bonds forged during the Great War, France has requested a formal alliance with Britain, citing unspecified threats against the stability of Europe. Today their request was approved by the British Parliament and France has joined the Allies. The Munich Conference. German demands for the Sudetenland region of Czechoslovakia, where a significant number of ethnic Germans live, have come to a head. Hitler has positioned forces along the Czechoslovakian border in preparation for an attack. Talks are being held in Munich between Britain, France, Italy and Germany in the hopes of negotiating a peaceful end to the Sudeten crisis. What will the British position be? So we can either put the Czechs are on their own or Czechoslovakia must be defended, which costs us a lot of political power. The Czechs like us a little bit more. France gets the event, the Munich Conference, one way or another. And the Czechoslovakia would join the Allies. Are we ready to start fighting against Germany? Do we have the manpower to deal with that yet? I think maybe we do. Czechoslovakia must be defended. The Sudeten crisis. German demands for the Sudeten border territory in Czechoslovakia, which is home to a considerable German minority, have intensified recently. At a summit held in Munich, Germany, Britain, France and Italy sought to find a diplomatic solution to the so-called Sudeten crisis. The talks appear to have failed, however, and both Britain and its allies uttering stern warnings to Germany that if troops crossed the Czechoslovakian border, the result would be war. It seems to be running out for a peaceful time seems to be running out for a peaceful solution to the dispute. It's time to make a stand. But now that we are allied with France, what we can do is go ahead and delete the orders for the Purple Army, and we can go ahead and now set them on the German border. And if I actually go and left-click instead of right-clicking, we can set that as the entire border. And look at that, it's actually now a much closer colour to the army colours, so we know that we have the right army there. So we're going to send those guys down there. We're going to take our Italian front guys as well. Now, Italy haven't joined in this war yet, but we're pretty sure they will. So let's go ahead and delete your orders. And we are going to go and we will put you down on the Italian border. And now our units are appropriately named. National focus. Let's go and work on the Royal Tank Regiment. So that should have given us the ability to create motorised divisions. Now, the motorised division isn't perfect because it doesn't have anything else in it, really. It doesn't have any tanks or anything. But, you know, it's nice to have it there if and when it is needed. We do have a research slot available. Ground support plus 20%. Yeah, let's keep working down the air doctrine tab. That's not a terrible idea. I'm sure that Germany will probably declare war very, very soon. How are things going with construction? We're working on a few of the civilian factories at the moment. I'm sure there are a couple of ways we can get some additional factories. Air defense radar, there we go. German Reich has declared war on Czechoslovakia, so things are about to get real. We will have to start working down here. I thought there was a few things that gave us a few more factories, but apparently not. So, a call to arms from Czechoslovakia, we will of course accept. So we are now at war with Germany. We've already started to get our troops on the line anyway. So we are going to want potentially 2 more armies. We want an army that is capable of protecting the Spanish border. And we want an army that is capable of protecting the sort of northern border of France. In case the Germans break through, well, the Germans will eventually attack the Dutch and the Belgians, in which case we'll have to move on to that northern line. Unfortunately, we did lose a lot of political manpower. What have we got here? Belgium wants to send us volunteers. 2 divisions will accept. Not particularly all that useful. They are in transfer. So a quick way to find them is to look here. And we should see that we've got some divisions that are not assigned anywhere. Well, we've got a few because we've got our divisions that are overseas that aren't assigned to anything. Well, they're in transit though, so we'll probably have to wait for them to arrive. They're probably going to send them to the British mainland. That's what they have a habit of doing, which is a little bit of a strange thing to do. Now, unfortunately, our armies here aren't at full supply and organisation, but having the... as soon as the artillery starts to show up... So what we want to be doing now is using our ships as well. So we're going to take the South Fleet. You are going to search and destroy in the... Left click, right click. 50-50 chance, and I always get it wrong. Search and destroy in the Channel. And... do we really need the Bay of Biscay? I mean, it's only really if Spain go to war with us. So you can do the English Channel and the Eastern North Sea. And then this navy up here, the North Fleet, you're going to search and destroy in the North Sea and... That's probably all you need to do, really, just the North Sea. Now, Italy aren't formally involved in the war yet, but having you guys doing search and destroy on the Eastern Med and the Central Mediterranean, it's a large area for you to cover, but you're a fairly big navy, so I'm confident that you can get that sorted. What have we got here? Search and destroy. It's just showing me the different icon colours now. This makes it a little bit easier to spot what's going on, which is quite nice. There are Italian troops here, actually. Are Italy already in this? I'm not at war with Italy here. Maybe these are just Italian troops that are on loan to Italy. They are some Spanish troops. Yeah, so if we actually look at the war at the moment, it's only the German Reich that is involved in there. So we have gained some extra divisions. Yep, Belgium did send them to the British mainland, which was a little bit dumb. But I can't directly control them, I don't think. Yeah, it depends whether they send them as expeditionary forces, because you can't always just control them directly, but that's fine. Czechoslovakia has capitulated already. Edvard Beneš has announced that the Czechoslovakian nation can no longer withstand the pressure from the occupying German forces, committing travesties throughout the country. The Czechoslovakian government has gone into exile and their main forces have capitulated, and the German Reich is now in control of their home area. Though the war against the German Reich continues, that is an unfortunate setback for all of the Allies. So it does look like we are losing... Well, it's not us losing the battle there. It looks like the French are trying to push in. That is hills. Moving into hills is not a particularly clever idea. And of course we're not fully organised at the moment either. How short are we on... Luxembourg has called France in. Wars have been merged. The German Reich has declared war on Luxembourg. Let's go and hold down Alt, and then we can drag this line out over there. Hopefully go and defend that line. What was I going to check? That was it. Equipment we're almost done on. Artillery we are still very short. I'm sure I told it to queue up some factories on the artillery there. That's taking a long time for that to happen. Oh, aircraft. That was the other thing that we need to do. So what we can do now is we can actually start moving some of our aircraft into France and do some ground support. So let's go ahead and have a look at what we've got. Naval bombers we don't really care too much about, but we will get them working over the channel. Well, no, there aren't really any places over here that we really want to bomb. So we'll leave the naval bombers standing by. We don't really care about those. What we do care about is our tactical bombers, our close air support, and our fighters. So we want to try and move all these over. Do we have a big airport over here? Yes, we do. Champagne's a relatively big airport. Alsace, we can also get a fair few in as well. So what do we want to put where? We've also got, well, that one's, Lorraine's almost full. Close air support. Bombers probably have a better range. So we'll go ahead and put our... No, we don't want to click on that. We want you, there we go, in Alsace. Let's move you over. Will you let me move you over? Right click to move. There we go. Our tactical bombers probably want to be a little bit further back. And our fighters probably want to be further forward. What was the size there? Only 1,000. So we'll put the tactical bombers in there. And we will put the fighters in there. Okay. So it'll take a little bit of time for all those to arrive. Although I think you can actually... Right, Italy's joined the Axis. Doesn't mean they're involved in the war yet, though. Okay, so we've got close air support. Close air support is going to be working in Western Germany. As are the tactical bombers. So, Western Germany. So you see these things are sort of recoloured now. So close air support is going to be doing the work of close air support. Tactical bombers are going to be doing the work of close air support as well. And then we've got our fighters. Fighters are going to be working over Western Germany. And you are going to be doing the job of... I think just interception, really. Now, we don't have a lot of... Right, it's the rain that's the problem, really. Yeah, we're going to have some problems until we get our aircraft upgraded, but things won't be too bad. Now, have Italy actually joined the war? No, not at the moment. So, Italy aren't actually in the war. All of our divisions are kind of at full at the moment. The German Reich has called Italy into the war. Now, we expected that to happen, but we do have forces on the border, so that should certainly help. And we do have mountain forces down here as well, which is brilliant. It's one of the things that I wanted. Canada wants to send us 9 divisions, thank you very much. South Africa wants to send us 13 divisions, so we're getting 22 free divisions, which will really help out here. Looks like Luxembourg has already been lost. A lot of German units there, so we can't really do an awful lot about that at the moment. Missing equipment production. We're not actually producing any naval bombers. So we probably will want to set up a line for that at some point. But I think we'll be doing that on another video. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you are still enjoying Hearts of Iron 4. I'll see you next time. And until then, goodbye for now.